Hey guys, Biot-Savart here, bringing you a Battlefield 4 maps tier list. So, as you can see, we've got some good categories here. I like that there's no F category. I would not put any of these maps in F, and looks like I think we have every map here except for maybe Zavod 311 Night Operations, which I'm going to grade the same as the daytime version, don't worry. And looks like they go in alphabetical order, so we're going to be going through these one by one. I've recently played about 400 hours, roughly, in the Battlefield 4 multiplayer, so I feel pretty good about where I hold each and every one of these maps in overall their category here. So we're going to start off alphabetically here. Let's go Altai Range. Unfortunately, we are going to start off on kind of a boring note here, which is a shame, because I really like Battlefield 4. It was a great game. I enjoyed playing it a lot. I would definitely rate it like a 9 out of 10 or something like that. Very close to perfect. And Altai Range, unfortunately, whenever I played it, I had kind of a boring time. There's not a whole lot to do on it, I feel like. The combat mostly goes around this, like, central antenna building or whatever it's called. And I just didn't really find that to be very much fun. I mean, also, the map's sightlines are huge, so it takes a while to just get up there. And it's an uphill battle. Sometimes it's kind of hard to even get in there. It can be rather frustrating. So Altai Range just unfortunately pales in comparison to the other maps that we're going to see here in a minute. So I'm going to put it in C for kind of boring, unfortunately. All right, Caspian Border 2015 or 2014, excuse me. This is a return from Battlefield 3. This I believe was in the second assault operation or DLC pack. So, Caspian Border, I like it a lot. There's a reason this was brought back. It was because it was one of Battlefield 3's best maps as well. And as you know, Battlefield 3 had a blue tint to it, so the map looks really beautiful at daytime. It looks like a sunny day, a great place to have a battle. And for that reason, I'm going to put it in A. Very close to perfect. I like it a lot. They also added a little underwater sneaky entrance into the into that large tower that you can see here in just a little bit. So that's really cool. That changes the flow of the map, because previously you just had to go up the hill, either on the driveway or up the grassy way or up the rocky way to get to the C flag, I believe. So I greatly appreciate the new avenue that they added in Battlefield 4. That was great. Caspian Border 2014 almost can never go wrong with this map. I like it a lot. So Dawnbreaker is the next map, and I think I'm going to put it in B. It's not great, because what always annoyed me on Dawnbreaker is the amount of rooftops that people get onto, and then you seemingly have no easy way of lodging them out from there, unless you use a mortar or an XM25 airburst, or you have a teammate in a helicopter, or you yourself get in a helicopter and you clear out the rooftops, which I unfortunately was not good enough to do. So I like the map's general layout. It's pretty linear with some points off to the side. It takes like a Z shape, if you will. And I like that. The levolution on this map I rather like as well. It's significant to how the map plays, because the middle flag becomes a lot easier to capture from both sides once the levolution occurs. The bridge collapses as a result of opening some gas valves on two sides of the map. So Dawnbreaker I like, but there were always some things holding it back just a little bit that I can't get past. But otherwise, a very fun map. Nothing wrong with Dawnbreaker at all. So Dragon Pass is next, and I think this might be the only map, well, maybe the only map I'm gonna put in D here. I didn't really like this map. This is the one where, like, all the fighting takes place at the C map by the actual mountains, which I think we're looking at here in the diagram. And it's very boring. It's like the only times I've ever had fun was like when the fighting actually occurs at that flag, but usually it's tanks firing at each other from so far away. And then if you want to push, you're just pushing out so far into the open where you seemingly have no cover. And I just don't find that to be very fun. I fortunately have played this map very little, and I do not have any inclining to play it anymore. I'm perfectly comfortable putting this in D. This is probably my least favorite map in all of Battlefield 4, but we'll see as we go down the list here. Unfortunately, Dragon Valley 2015 is not much different. I mean, the thing about these two Dragon maps is they're very big. They're somehow too big for Battlefield, in my opinion. I have a bias where I prefer where combat occurs within 150 meters of each other. So you don't need a sniper rifle to be competitive. You can compete with an assault rifle or light machine gun. And on these maps, it feels like it takes a very long time to just get to battle. I mean, on your minimap, Dragon Valley looks like it's a small map, but weirdly enough, the minimap needs to be scaled up because Dragon Valley seems like it's one of the biggest maps in all of Battlefield 4, possibly even bigger than Silk Road down here. Where is it here? I mean, it really feels that way whenever I played it. I mean, it's like you need. I mean, maybe it would be improved if the teams got 2 transport helicopters just to get to the actual like what is it, the castle at the top of the mountain. That would make this map more fun, but I overall did not have fun playing Dragon Valley 2015. I think this is from a previous Battlefield game, but I do not know why DICE decided to bring this map back. I did not enjoy it. Alright, up next is Firestorm 2014. Another return from Battlefield 3, and I like it a lot in this game. It's pretty much the same as it is in Battlefield 3, but there is one thing that in my later hours of Battlefield 4 multiplayer, I realized you could do. And the A flag, I believe, has a rooftop to it where you can capture the A point, the A objective. And there's only one way up there, and that's if you parachute out from some sort of air vehicle, namely a helicopter. And once you do that, the other team has no means of getting you out of there, so that's kind of annoying. If you didn't know that, now you know. So that's what's keeping it from S tier, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have this at S, because I really like the way it plays. But something else keeping it from S tier, quite frankly, is on the side of the map, the side closer to the mountain range. It's very wide open, and I almost never go there for that reason. It seems like you can get shot from literally all 4 directions, to your front, left, right, and even your rear. It seems like if people are behind you on the map. So this Firestorm 2014, Operation Firestorm 2014 has the same map layout as Propaganda, but Propaganda improves upon Firestorm 2014 because you can actually use that. The distance between the points on the one side of the map is much closer, the side of the map with just the 2 flags. But other than that, I greatly enjoyed Firestorm 2014, a great map. Okay, Flood Zone. I have this in B. It's generally fun. Something weird happened in my Battlefield 4 experience where I liked this map less the more I played it. I liked this map a lot more when I had few hours in Battlefield 4, and I played this few times. But the more I played it, the less I started to like it. Like, in my first 100 hours, I'd probably put this in A, because this is a fun map, but the thing that I don't like about this is the rooftops. When people get onto these rooftops of these 3 buildings, they take them to transport helicopters to get up there, or Little Bird helicopters to get up there, and they jump out. They become seemingly unbeatable, because the only options you have are the XM25 Airburst, a mortar, UCAV maybe, or you have to rely on your friendly helicopter to clear out the rooftops, which is very difficult to do. And also, it's just annoying to have to change your class specifically to clear out these entrenched guys. But other than that, I really like the building-to-building fighting around here. When you're not getting shot at by the rooftops, it's really fun to play around these, I believe the C and B flag we're looking at here in the diagram. Fun times. Also, the map design itself is very unique. I like the levolution of this map, that it turns it into a sort of a naval map, because then the RCB boat is unlocked. I think that's really cool that this is simultaneously a land map and a naval map. That is awesome. So Flood Zone, I'm comfortable putting it in B. Giants of Karelia. Okay, this is the one with all the wide open areas, the hills and the mountains, and I have it in C. It's very similar to Altai Range. Now, credit where it's due, it's a little better than Altai Range, because it has those interior points of, I think the C and F flags are interior, and you can actually do some infantry on infantry combat there. And to be fair, using the vehicles on this map is also very fun. So but what keeps it back, I would put it in B, but what keeps it back is that so many times I've played this that one team just gets a steamroll going of objectives and kills and vehicle kills and all that, and then you seemingly have no means of fighting back. You can get spawn trapped on this map quite easily, and when you're on the receiving end, it's miserable. You may as well just leave and find another server. And when you're on the giving end, it's also rather boring, I have to admit, because there's just no point in going anywhere. So you're just wondering, why am I playing this? I mean, I wish the map were a little bit more balanced in that sense, but nonetheless, Giants of Corellia is a fine map. It's just the number of times I've been spawn trapped is what keeps me from putting it in the B tier. But a perfectly respectable map, nonetheless. So, Goal Mode Railway, I rather like. It's pretty fun. I would even put it in A tier, but what keeps me from doing that is you pretty much, to have fun, are forced or so heavily encouraged to play the Engineer class just because of how many tanks and helicopters you're going to encounter. So if you're going to play Assault or Support or Recon, it's just so much less fun playing it, fighting for those A and B flags, which are mostly where I go. I enjoy fighting for those A and B flags. That's a lot of fun to fight in the little village up on the top of the map there. I enjoy that a lot. But otherwise, there's so much air support here that you pretty much have to play Engineer to have any good times. Which is a bit of a shame, because Goal Mode Railway is a good design map. It's very uniquely designed, where every single point, I think, except for the moving train itself, is in the middle of the map. It'll be like vertically split right down the middle. So very symmetric in that sense. I can respect that. A very unique map layout, which I like generally. But yeah, it's just the number. Like, I want to play Assault and Recon and Support on this map, but I keep getting destroyed by tanks. But otherwise, a pretty good map, Goal Mode Railway. No general complaints. So up next, Guilin Peaks. I like Guilin Peaks a lot. The first S tier map I'm going to list here. I almost always have a great time on Guilin Peaks. This is the map where I noticed it's the only map, I think, in Battlefield 4 which seems to be in a 3x3 layout, like, whereas the bottom left and top right of the map, of the 3x3 square, if you can imagine it, are not gimme flags, but the spawns of the factions. So I always feel empowered to go in any direction on this map. I never feel like I only have two options. I always feel like I have at least three options on this map. Even from, like, the middle of the map is the G flag, I believe, and from there you have, what, top left, bottom right, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 directions you could head from. If you are at G, you have, the world is at your fingertips at G. I like Guilin Peaks for that a lot. I don't think any other map can say that, because this is the only map in that 3x3 format. And also, it's fairly close quarters, so this is also, like, close quarters at pretty much every engagement, which I like. You don't have to necessarily snipe your enemies one bullet at a time with a light machine gun or assault rifle on this map. You can generally get in pretty close engagements. I've always had fun on Guilin Peaks. I hope this map returns in the future in Battlefield. I like this map a lot. Something that kind of sucks is that there's a bomber on this map, but in my experience, I almost never get kills with it. Everything's obscured by mountains, obviously, so a bit of a shame there, but that's okay. So, Gulf of Oman 2014, I'm going to put in A. I like it a lot. What holds it back is the capability to spawn trap the landing team, which I believe is the US team. Similar to Giants of Corellia, like, I would put this in S. I almost always have a good time on Gulf of Oman. It's very fun to get those 4 flags on the beach side, but something annoying is when the people parachute onto the rooftop of the E flag and they just shoot down at you from there, and they're just up there permanently. I find that to be rather annoying, which also is what holds this map back. But otherwise, I generally like fighting for every single point on this map. E is just the one of, I believe, 7 points that I don't like fighting for, but everywhere else it's pretty fun. Unfortunately, sometimes it does feel like you're forced to play Engineer on this map, just similar to Goal Mode Railway, just because of how many tanks you're going to encounter, even at the 4 flags that are on the beach side. So a bit of a shame that the game kind of pigeonholes you into engineer on this map. I prefer to play assault myself, so engineer is my second favorite. Nothing wrong with engineer, but this feels like the game kind of forces you down a lane in that sense. All right, Hainan Resort. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I'm contemplating whether to put it in S but Hainan Resort is at least an A. I might change this as we go further along here, but I like Hainan Resort a lot. It's like the perfect... I noticed it's like the perfect size map in all of Battlefield 4, I feel like. It's not too large and not too little. It's the exact perfect size. Oh, you know what is holding this from being an S-tier map? When the 2 sides of the hotel collapse in their Levolution, that notably changes how the map is played, because now you can only get up there. There's like a part of the map up top of the rooftop that is no longer accessible because the stairway up there to it collapsed. So once you're stuck up there, you can just plant a respawn beacon and permanently respawn up there. And it just seems like you have no means of clearing out that top of the map. And it's just, the team that has that is a little overpowered because they can always parachute down and take the middle flag, which can be kind of annoying if you're trying to win and play a close game, because you're like telling your teammates, get on the middle points, but they're trying their best, but you can't beat the fact that the other team can just parachute down from up top and take the flag whenever they please. I think that's what keeps them from being S tier. It's a little bit... It becomes almost unbeatable when the rooftop is held by the other team, because then you have no means of easily holding the middle point, which is very important. I also like that this is a naval map, one of the few ones in the game. This is really cool. Credit where it's due. So yeah, A is where I'm going to put Hainan Resorts. I like it a lot. So, Hammerhead. I generally like this, but it doesn't really wow me, you know? I like the layout, I like the shape, I like the setting. It is a snow map. One of the few snow maps in the game, I believe. So I like all that. That makes it all unique. It's a very unique map from the rest. But it seems that most of my time is actually spent fighting inside in the B and C flag area. And occasionally I'll go out to E out there by all the like logs and whatnot, the logging area. But it seems like I'm not experiencing most of the map when I play Hammerhead, unfortunately. It seems that most of my time I'm spent as an infantry inside, and it feels like I'm not getting the full Hammerhead experience is the problem. And the game kind of incentivizes that. I mean, once you go outside, there's helicopters, which you have to be able to take out, so if you're not playing Engineer, then you're just going to have a rough go of it. So Hammerhead is like, it's like 2/3 of a map. It's like your home base and wherever you spawn in, and the B and C points. So it, I don't know, it never felt like a full map to me is the problem. So B is, but for what it's worth, I generally have fun on Hammerhead. It's a good time. All right, Hangar 21. This map, I believe, it's pretty good. This is the map, I believe, where you have the sort of catapult system, the mechanical robotic catapults that shoot you from like the bottom of the map to the top of the map. So that's pretty cool. That definitely leaves it from being C. I like this map just because the shape is very unique. Like there's a triangle of points at the bottom of the map if you're just looking at the map outline. And then there's those 2 points up there in their hangar, the actual hangar of the map, which you can propel yourself to and from using the mechanical catapults over there, whatever they're called. But what keeps it back is the very long sight lines. It feels like most of the time I'm getting shot at from like 200 meters away, and it can be rather annoying to need to move up between points. like the C flag, I believe, is at the top of the hill, but not quite at the hangar. And once you're there and you want to go down, I mean, you're just easy pickings for snipers and DMRs. So that just always gave me a tough time. So Hangar 21, B flag, pretty good map. I certainly enjoyed it. I would never leave a server just because this map came up. So, credit where it's due. Alright, Lankang Dam. It's kind of mid. The Levolution is cool, but, I mean, it doesn't change the map a whole lot, I've noticed. It gives you some cover between the, what is it, the D and B flags. So, that's nice, I guess, but so often when I play this, it just seems like tanks and IFVs dominate that lane anyway, that the Levolution should be, like, have a greater impact on the map. That'd be cool. Or maybe, I don't know, if water started flowing in from the dam, which is the point of dams, that would also be cool. That might make, well, I don't know, would that be cool? I don't know, we'd have to test that out. That might make crossing the D and B flag open wide area much harder, if anything. But yeah, that's what holds this map back. Like, I like the D and B flag area, but it's too large. It's too spread out. Like, you can't easily advance. You just get sniped and gunned down whenever you try to move up. Plus, like I mentioned, always vehicles around there. Very difficult to move past that. And I usually like to play at the C flag. It's the one out at sea. It's the little island where the boats frequently come to. There, I find I can usually get that close to mid-range gunfights that I'm looking for. So I like that about Lankang Dam. That's what's keeping it from a D. I definitely like it more than these two maps. This map is a reasonable size. It's a bit of a strange shape to it, because, like, it's shaped like an L, but, you know, with the going up, it's like the top right of a square. The map outline is like that. So, like, the two spawns are like the hypotenuse of the map, and it feels like you can kind of weirdly go to the spawn of the other team rather easily on this map and capture their home point, which is cool. I certainly like fighting at A and E as well. So, okay, Lankang Dam is fine. Lost Islands. I like this a lot. This map is a lot of fun. What's holding it back from S tier is, unfortunately, when it's somewhat possible to get spawn trapped on this map, just because if the opposing team has a jet, they get the Warthog, I believe, and that dominates boats. That totally destroys the RCB boats swimming around the map. And the Little Bird helicopter also seems to dominate on this map. But otherwise, I have a lot of fun on this map. The long range is just at that limit where I'm comfortable and I'm having fun still burst firing and single firing. So this is definitely a nice change of pace relative to every other map here. It's also got a nice unique shape to it. I think the maps are shaped like a donut with a point in the middle. So it's pretty cool to, like, fight over those points in the circular shape. I think this is the only map that's circular like that, so that's pretty cool. Also, I found that playing Engineer on this map is very overpowered, because javelins do a lot of damage to the boats, and you can almost always be in range of them. And I like the fact that the plane in the middle gives you a reasonable objective to go for. I generally like that. This map has a middle point that is like a power position that allows you to strategically advance. I like that. But otherwise, I have a lot of fun on Lost Islands. A great map. Lumpini Garden. I like this map a lot. I wish this came up more. I don't know why people don't play this map more often. Why they don't vote for it more often. This has I just like the aesthetic too. Its Levolution is one of the more unique ones in Battlefield 4, where it's a landslide, which actually transforms the map. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's like a natural disaster. And the sightlines aren't too long, aren't too short. I just like looking at the map too. Just, I have to admit that. It's got a nice aesthetic appeal. It's, I think, Chinese in nature, with a construction area off to the side, and a religious building off to the side as well, on one side of the map. So I like this a lot. You're like fighting alongside the high-speed rail, I think it is. And it's a great map. I wish people played this more. I don't know why they don't. It's fun to fight for the high-speed rails point. It's fun to fight for the religious buildings points off to the side, and it's fun to fight at the construction site. I don't know why people don't like this map more. In my time playing Battlefield 4, I rarely got to play Lumpini Garden. I don't know why. Alright, Nansha Strike. I also have this in A. I like playing this a lot. It seemingly has no flaws. It's very similar to Wave Breaker in that you have a couple of capture points on the exterior of the map, which boats dominate at, of course, and the interior of the map, the middle of the map, is triangle shaped, whereas on Wavebreaker, excuse me, it's linear. So Nansha Strike I almost always have fun on. It's very fun to have the option to both go in a boat and fight on the little islands off to the corners, the edges of the map, as well as get in the heavy infantry-based combat in the middle of the map. I always have a good time on Nansha Strike. I also like Lumpini Garden. I wish this map came up more. I don't know why more people don't like this map. Very fun. The top of the mountain is a bit of a power position, but I never felt it impossible to overcome. On top of that mountain, I think there are multiple enough avenues to flank that I never felt so overpowered, so defeated. So Nansha Strike, a great map. I like it in A. Alright, Operation Locker. I'm gonna put this in S with the caveat that I can't play this. I can't play this more than once in a row. More than once in a row when you go on those servers that have this 24/7. I don't find that to be very fun, but like Operation Locker, in contrast to everything else here, is a very welcome change of pace. I like it a lot. I'm putting it in S tier because I always have fun on it. It's like it's like a complete joke of a map. You mostly just spawn in and die and whatever, but it's pretty fun. It's pretty hectic. I like that. It gives you that unique Battlefield experience of 32 guys on your team cramped up against 32 guys on the other team fighting for extremely tight choke points. It can get kind of annoying when you die to explosives a lot, but still, I like Operation Locker a lot. With the caveat, in contrast to playing these, like I could not see myself playing this 3 times in a row even. Twice in a row might be fun, but 3 times in a row, at that point, I would start to dislike the map, and I would put it back in A tier. But it does have the outside area, which is unique to it, which is not something that Operation Metro can say. Operation Metro, you are kind of locked into the Metro. So Operation Locker, in that sense, has the potential to be more lively. So in this sense, it is a bit of an upgrade to Operation Metro, where you do have a bit more of an avenue to flank. If you like that, that is. I like that. So up next is, Speak of the Devil, Operation Metro 2014. We're going in alphabetical order here. So this is, of course, from Battlefield 3. They took out the blue tent. The map looks very nice. A very well-kept Metro before all the crap unfolds around it. And same caveat, almost the same exact map as Operation Locker, just with 3 points instead of 5. And there's no outside flanks. There are like some service tunnels which you can flank. There are like passenger staircases that you can use to flank, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as Operation Locker. Just a hectic map, a good time for just a lot of explosives and damage and revives and resupplies and all that. But once again, like playing this more than twice in a row seems like it would get tiring very quickly. It also has the unique feature of an elevator, being able to flank the top of the escalators, which I don't believe Operation Locker has. Well, Operation Locker does have some verticality. It does have the underneath area of the Panopticon. So, yeah. Okay, there's some decent flanking, but there's more flanking on Locker than Metro. But these are both very fun maps. I like them a lot. Alright, Operation Mortar. I like Operation Mortar a lot. I'm putting it in an A tier. I wish this map came up more. I think it's the only map in the game with exactly one gradient. And by gradient, I mean the map goes upwards in one direction only. There's the top of the castle, which overlooks the remainder of the map. and it also overlooks that little island off to the side where boats can go by, and it has all the old cannons, which are very unique. I like that a lot. That's really cool that you can get kills with those. You can even hit the little boats with them if you know how to aim them. It's not a one-shot or anything, but it's really cool. A very unique gimmick. I don't think there's a Levolution on this map, though, so that doesn't hold it back or anything, but I like Operation Mortar. It's very fun. The points are spaced out seemingly evenly enough that you're almost always at close or mid-range, so I like that. That's my bias. The only thing that's keeping it from S tier for me is that there's no wow factor. Like, with Wheeling Peaks, I put it in S just because you have a lot of mobility and decision-making as to in what direction you want to go in at any time. You're on, like, a chessboard. Operation Mortar, I mean, it's cool to, like, fight uphill or fight downhill. So, it's definitely not a B tier map, but it's not all-time legendary either. There have also been multiple occasions where, like, I've been on the team that spawn traps the other team from landing on the actual islands. It's not like, this map is not like Gulf of Oman where one team actually starts out on the landmass. Both teams have to use boats to get to the landmass and capture points first and foremost. So when that happens, it does become kind of boring to play on, because then you win by like 900 tickets and it's just not really fun. But nonetheless, A tier is where it goes. Okay, Operation Outbreak. This map is, for a community-based map, pretty good. I believe this was invented by 3 members of the Battlefield community. I don't know how they did it, but for a community map, I'm impressed. I think every time I've played this map, I've had fun. It flows really well, and it's got not too many points. So the fighting, I like when it occurs between the C and B flags, I believe they're called. Pretty fun. It's also got a nice little gimmick where the helicopter can play Rise of the Valkyries, I believe, if you activate it. That's really cool. It also has a unique M60 weapon on it, the M60 Ult, which I think has splash damage, and I think the crossbow is unlocked on this map, if you ever wanted to fool around with that. So just a lot going for it. The problem I have with this map is its visibility. It's a little hard to just see people, which is good in the sense that I'm almost never fearful of snipers on this map, but I do sometimes have a tough time just seeing people, which is what keeps it from A. But otherwise, it's a pretty fun map. Good for these guys to create a map. I've never made a map. I wonder what that would be like. I wouldn't know where to start, so credit where it's due. Alright, up next is Operation Whiteout. This is mid for me. It's fine. It's not bad. It's just very large, and I think what happens on this map is a snowstorm or a blizzard occurs, and that decreases your visibility. I think that's the Levolution on this map. Don't quote me on that. But, yeah, this map always left me wanting more. Maybe if the points were just closer together, there would be more fun, but I'm always wondering, like, where the action is on this map. You'd think there'd be more action at C, and when that does occur, the map is fun, when the action is taking place in the middle of the map, but I'm more so just kind of bored when playing Operation Whiteout. It's like, it takes 10 minutes longer on this map to finish the round just because there's so little action on this map, seemingly. And what the snipers do to make it less action is, like, they get in the little bird, they go on top of the glaciers on the one side of the map, and they just camp up there, and that's just boring to me. I don't find that fun at all. I mean, that's why there's less action. I mean, the map was kind of designed for snipers, but I don't find that to be very fun. So, yeah, C tier. Alright, Parasol Storm. I like Parasol Storm a lot. This weirdly has went in the opposite way for me of Flood Zone, where I liked this map more the more I played it. Flood Zone, I liked it, unfortunately, less the more I played it. But Flood Zone, or Parasol Storm, I liked it more the more that I played it. What's unique about this Levolution is that it actually like changes how a capture point is played. When the naval ship crashes into the sea flag, it becomes part of the flag's capture area, I believe, and you have a new high ground from which you can hold the point or shoot at people elsewhere. That's really cool. The map actually changes with respect to the Levolution. I wish more maps did that. I even wish this happened earlier in the map, because when that happens, it's really cool. I wish that it didn't take like damage to the wind turbine to actually destroy the turbine and get the ship moving. I wish that just happened earlier, and I wish it happened more frequently. And I wish the ship on sea became like an actual anti-air turret, so that whoever owns sea gets that extra anti-air support. Because on this map, why I didn't like it at first was that it felt very Little Bird dominated, and felt like I was just not having a good time with them. But once I played it more, and once I learned how to be a better engineer, I definitely like Parasol Storm a lot. I never feel spawn trapped on this map. I always feel like I can go to one of the maps on the end with a boat, or one of the maps in the middle with a boat. So that's a good sign. So credit where it's due to DICE for this Parasol Storm. Great map. Alright, Pearl Market. Another S tier map. I'm not even giving it the caveat that it should be like shouldn't be played multiple times. Like, I would love to play Pearl Market 24/7. I find this map to be very fun. It's like slightly ever so larger than Operation Locker and Metro, so I can definitely see myself playing it multiple times. I think I have fun every time it comes up. I never feel spawn trapped. I never feel unempowered about people on rooftops camping. I always feel like if you have a shotgun on this map, you're gonna have fun, because you just, at almost every range, you can just dominate with a shotgun. It's a very fun map. I like it a lot. This gives me that vibe of Skid Row from Modern Warfare 2. So I like this a lot. Great times on Pearl Market. Something that kind of lets me down is, like, the vehicle on it, the Amtrak vehicle, is very, very unmaneuverable. I mean, there's all these tight streets, and you're just trying to turn this thing, and it's really annoying. You're trying to go places quickly, and for whatever reason, there's a lot of debris that the Amtrak can't overcome, so that's a little annoying, I have to admit. But, I don't know, I don't know, maybe I would like the map less if the Amtrak played more of a role, but still, very fun map. Pearl Market, credit where it's due. Probably my favorite map in all of Battlefield 4, quite frankly. Alright, Propaganda. Alright, another S tier map. Great. Finally filling up the S tier here. There we go. Propaganda is like a better Operation Firestorm 2014. Because, as infantry, you can actually advance easily and like go on both halves of the map. The map is split down the middle by the main street of Propaganda. And the map also has a very unique aesthetic to it, which I like. It's got a very clean, like, white marble aesthetic to it. Very cool relative to the rest of Battlefield 4. So, there's also no air support on this map, so you always feel like you can go anywhere without worrying about a helicopter sniping you from when you're just running out in the middle of nowhere. So that's really cool. The Levolution on this map is kind of boring, quite frankly. It's like a train that comes through and destroys any tanks that might happen to be on it. It's cool, but neither here nor there. But I always have fun fighting for, I mean, any single objective I have fun on Propaganda. When we're fighting at every single objective, I always have fun. So that is just credit for good map design. It's not too close, not too far, just the perfect map overall. Alright, Rogue Transmission. This is also... I don't feel comfortable putting it in the B tier. This was also kind of mid for me. The Levolution on this map is one of the cooler ones. The credit where it's due. Just looking at it, it's like the satellite breaks and crashes into the point. I don't think it changes anything about the point itself, though. I haven't played this map as much as I'd like to, but when I have... I don't know, it's like easy to get spawn trapped on, and even when you're not spawn trapped, there's a lot of long sight lines where you get sniped at and sniped from, which isn't very fun. Also, it feels like you are forced to play engineer on this map just because of how many tanks and IOVs you encounter. So again, the map is pigeonholing you. I mean, I wish the map was more fun, but I don't know. When I'm fighting at a point, it seems like every sight line is so long that I can get shot from multiple directions, and I'm just never long for the world when I'm playing Rogue Transmission. So it's kind of a mid map to me. Now, among mid maps, among the maps that I've ranked C, I definitely like Rogue Transmission the most out of these 4. Well, I shouldn't say that. The second most. I like Giants of Corellia the most out of these 5. And then Rogue Transmission. So it's one of the better C-tier maps I have here. So Siege of Shanghai, I like, but with the caveat that I put it in A, but the fact that the middle tower seems to collapse before the halfway point of every match holds the map back. I like the tower because it's fun to fight up there and it's fun to parachute down from it. And another thing holding it back is that when people get onto the top of the skyscrapers and there's seemingly no way to bring them down and they just have a permanent respawn beacon up there from which to jump off from and take your home flags, that always feels unempowering, and it feels like I can't do anything but just lose my home flag, and I have no means of fighting back, because like not every skyscraper on this map has an elevator that leads you up to it. So, gosh, unfortunately, that's what holds Siege of Shanghai back. Like, once somebody parachutes up to a building without elevator access, it's over. If it's a sniper up there, it's over. They're just going to be up there for the rest of the match, sniping you from from up above, sniping you when you're on a skyscraper next to them, and it's just annoying. Also, when people like camp the elevator, that I find also very annoying. I mean, maybe if the elevator didn't give off any audio signal that somebody's coming in or coming up, maybe that would make it better, but that's just not how the map is designed, so I'd put Siege of Shanghai up in A. It's definitely got one of the cooler levolutions in the game. The skyscraper collapsing is very advanced, even for a game in 2013. This was a very advanced thing to happen, so I think the most advanced levolution. So, very cool. I would put it in A, but there are times I've played this where I just felt so unempowered. Like, it's such a drag to be dealing with this the problem of people on buildings which I have no access to, that I'm gonna have to put it in B tier, yeah. Alright, Silk Road. I generally dislike this map. Of the D tier maps, I like it more than either of these two, but I mean, it's so vehicle heavy, and vehicles are fine, but I get my fix of vehicles in every other Battlefield 4 map. I don't need an entire map of like, what is it, 16v16 in vehicles and 16v16 in infantry. And the infantry are almost always snipers anyway, so that just makes it even more boring. The only fighting that happens on Silk Road is like at the D flag in the middle. I think it's the D flag where it's like the actual dedicated military base. I mean, when the fighting is there, that's fun. I have fun there, but even then, you get sniped at from like multiple directions. There's multiple little birds that are flying over you and annoying you. You pretty much are forced to play engineer on Silk Road to have any sort of fun. So you're totally pigeonholed. I like this map more the more I played it. At first I didn't like this map at all. I like this map more the more I played it. I would put it in C tier, but I do have to admit I kind of dread whenever this map comes up because I know what's coming. I know it's just going to be 20 minutes or even 30 minutes of sitting around and waiting. Yeah, the games in Battlefield 4 were about 30 minutes each, so this one might even be like 35 minutes each. It's like just waiting for the map to end, just waiting for the tickets to count down from owning the points. I mean, it's just tank v tank is fun, but like you get that on every other map. I've never been so thirsty and hungry for vehicle on vehicle warfare in Battlefield 4. That Silk Road solves a problem that I don't have and never had in Battlefield 4. If you like it, credit to you. If you're a good jet pilot or a little bird pilot, credit to you. But yeah, this just doesn't do it for me. Alright, Sunken Dragon. I like this map. Let's see, B or A? Which map where do I like it more? I think I'm gonna put it in an A, but it's like an A minus. Should I even say that? I like it generally as much as these maps. Something I find annoying about it is the fact that you can only capture the C flag from the first level, so it's almost impossible to do if the other team owns it and they have the high ground on you and they have like 2 different levels to shoot at you from, and you have seemingly nowhere to hide. You pretty much are forced to use smoke grenades there, or you're forced to just swim around and dive into the water and hope that nobody sees you or shoots you, and hope that nobody else is in the water down there with you. But otherwise, yeah, also, people can get onto rooftops that you have no access to, and they can parachute down onto the D flag, I believe. The top rooftop that overlooks the actual, like, restaurant here. And that's just totally unempowering. I find that to be very annoying. But when those things aren't happening, this is a phenomenal map. I like this map a lot. Very fun sightlines. Sometimes I do get sniped, but I never feel stuck. I always feel like I can run across this map without much fear. And I like fighting in the parking garage. I like fighting in the actual restaurant. I like fighting even at the home bases, the 2 gimme flags. Those are fun. The map has a pretty good layout. Overall, not a whole lot of complaining with this one. Sunken Dragon, I've always liked. This is fortunately the one of the 3 maps in the game with dragon in its name that I actually like. So, Sunken Dragon, I have a good time on. Credit where it's due. Good job, DICE. Alright, Wavebreaker, also A. This is very similar to Nansha Strike, except the interior flags are, number 1, linear, not triangular, and there are no helicopters flying above. I mean, technically, I think you can sneak in a scout helicopter into the interior of the map, but yeah, I've never encountered that. I like Wavebreaker a lot. I'm tempted to put it in S. I think I will. I like Wavebreaker a lot. I like it on par with Propaganda and Pearl Market. It's very fun. It gives the player the option to go in the boats and either fight on the boats or fight for those 4 flags that are on the edges of the map. That's cool. The interior of the map, also very fun. I like the way it flows. I like how there's a staircase leading to a vertical area, and the ground level, of course. Generally, no flaws, yeah. I'm comfortable putting this in the S tier. I like this equally as much as I do Propaganda and Pearl Market. I would not mind playing the crap out of Wavebreaker. Levolution on this map is kind of underwhelming. I think you can just like blow up the boat itself that you can see on the diagram here, and that explodes, and I don't know, it doesn't really change the middle point that much, but that's fine. And, oh, I like when the boats can like go inside the deep flag and like support their team. That's cool. I like when that happens. That's very cinematic. So yeah, S tier for Wavebreaker. Never looked at it that way, but yeah, I do like Wavebreaker a lot. Oh, the last map, Zavod 311. And this map also comes with the nighttime variant, night operations. I have this in B. It's fine. It's not. I can't say it's great. It's just, it doesn't wow me. It's kind of boring. There's like there's 2 points in the middle which have the 2 levels. You can either be, well, 3 levels technically. There's like the ground level. There's the underground level of one of the maps where you can actually, one of the points where you can actually capture from underneath the cover there. You're in like the basement or something. And Feels like you have to clear those rooftops perpetually to have a chance of holding the flags. And also, I hate to admit that I've been spawn trapped on this map enough to bring it down from A to B. And also, when I try to go to the other side of the map in a vehicle, I seemingly have not had any luck doing so to break up the spawn trap. It seems like when the other team is really good, then you're just kind of screwed on this map as you are on Giants of Corellia. So in that sense, I like Zavod more than Giants of Corellia. It's more fun to play, but it never really wowed me. The night operations, a little note, it gives you like the only reason to use a flashlight in particular as an accessory. It also gives you the excuse to use the infrared or the night vision optics on your weapons, unlocked via battle packs in particular. So that's kind of cool. But I also noticed that it's on Steam in particular, on the PC in particular, it's like a separate DLC that you have to have downloaded to actually play. So I noticed whenever we switch to Zavod 311 Night Operations, there's always a downtick in players just because of that little caveat. Like, you have to have a separate DLC installed of Night Operations, which is free with the game. This should never be an issue for people. It's a perfectly free DLC. I should mention the same goes for what's it called? Operation Outbreak, also a free DLC. There should be no reason that people can't play this map. I mean, it's a great map. It's a free DLC. There's no excuse to be kicked from the server because you don't have it installed. So I don't know why those DLCs don't just install with the base game. It seems very strange to me, but unfortunately that is the case. So, a minor caveat, but the night version I like as much as the day version. It's pretty cool. I don't know, it's of the B tier maps, it's good. It's a good map, don't get me wrong. B tier is a perfectly fine place to be, but it's not, I wouldn't put it as high as Hainan Resort or, you know, Firestorm 2014 though. Okay, that's gonna do it for the map tier list. I think that's everything. I'm pretty comfortable with everything here. If you have your own ideas of what maps go where, and maybe I'm wrong on some things, maybe you have some different opinions, but I've come here with my biases of I generally prefer infantry combat within 150 meters, and that's how I like my Battlefield 4. I like Battlefield 4 a lot. I think I'm finished playing it. Fun times had. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So if you've got any suggestions or ideas as to what maps you particularly liked or disliked that you may disagree with me or agree with me even, leave a comment below, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.